Good morning. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Jen Johnson, and on behalf of the ARC of Carroll County, I want to welcome you and thank you for joining us on this momentous occasion, the groundbreaking for our Raise the Roof initiative. Today is more than the start of a construction project. It's a celebration of legacy, partnership, and possibility. Today, we celebrate an opportunity to build a stronger, more inclusive community. I would like to recognize the dignitaries and elected officials who have joined us today. We have Secretary Carol Beatty, Delegate Boucher, I know he's there, Delegate Tomlinson, President of the County Commissioners, Kenneth Kyler, Commissioner Vigliotti, and Commissioner Rothstein was here this morning and sent his regards and welcomes as well. I want to also take a moment to recognize our incredible partner organizations, donors, and friends who are helping us raise the roof. We'd like to extend our deepest gratitude to a few of our most philanthropic individual donors. These were visionaries who believed in this project long before the first blueprint and long before a shovel was ever touched the ground. Their generosity helped lay the very foundation we're building on today, not just in dollars, but in belief. Their early support lit the spark that made Raise the Roof possible, and we are profoundly grateful for their leadership, trust, and unwavering commitment to our mission. Mr. and Mrs. Carol Yingling, Ms. Doris Hull, Mr. and Mrs. Lee Prim, Don and Chris Rao, and Corinne Corpus. I also want to take a moment to recognize the Home Builders Care Foundation, the philanthropic arm of the Maryland Building Industry Association, which has chosen the ARC's home to be their next marquee project. With a membership of over 1,000 individuals, they are lending their time, their talent, and assistance to bring this exceptional project to fruition. If I also may draw your attention to the incredible, generous community businesses and partners listed on the back of your program, we would not be here without them today, and we would not be able to raise the roof without their commitment and their support. And they have been absolutely invaluable. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Don Rao, Executive Director of the ARC Carroll County.
Oh my gosh, good morning everyone. Well, how cool is this? It's a little warm, but it's still cool, right? Well, thank you all for being here. This really, in a lot of ways, is a dream come true for many of us, and it's going to be a dream come true for Bill and Charlie and Mickey and Tom, who are here with us today to celebrate this amazing day. You know, for over 70 years, this is the ARC's 70th anniversary this year, and what better way to commemorate? And gosh, what better way to commemorate that than the building of two homes? You know, for many, many years, the ARC really has been a beacon of dignity, inclusion, and opportunity for people with disabilities. You know, we've walked alongside of families and created pathways for independence and built a culture where everyone is seen and heard and valued. And that has been a part of our mission, that has been a part of our values since the day we began as an organization in 1955. And you know, today we're really breaking a new chapter. These homes are going to be state of the art. They're going to be fully accessible. They're going to be a great spot for our folks to live. They're going to be a part of this wonderful community here in Westminster. And, you know, gosh, today as I look around and I see all of you and just the collaboration that we're all bringing to this project. And, you know, Carroll County, we've always said, you know, it's different here. You know, we get along, we find a way to empower others, to lift up others, and there's no better example of that than today. So I want to thank you for being here today and being a part of this celebration. As Jen said, this wouldn't be possible without a lot of our partners, and even the dogs are happy that we're coming, right? I hope they're happy. We've got elected officials here and government officials and wonderful donors and board members and local businesses and tradespeople, and each of you has helped us to raise the roof, really make this a possibility. And there's one other person that I want to lift up that I really appreciate her effort. Jen Johnson is our Director of Development. And she's done an amazing job at bringing us all together and providing leadership for this project and really making today special. So thank you, Jen, for all of your efforts. And now, as a part of today's celebration, we've got some of our folks here that've got a little token of appreciation for each of you. So, if some of our folks would like to come forward, Matt's here, and Chris. So what we have and what you're going to receive is a Raise the Roof Challenge coin. So these coins are a symbol of our shared mission, our deep appreciation, and the lasting legacy that you are helping us create. Let them serve as a reminder that you are a part of this movement, not just today, but for the generations to come. So as we turn over the soil, let us also turn over the future, one that is more inclusive, more compassionate, and more accessible because of the work that we are doing. So thank you for standing with us today. Thank you for believing in our cause. And thank you for helping us raise the roof. So, we've got some people here today that we've invited to share some comments and words. And this first person that I'm going to introduce is always here when we have a big moment. And she is such a good friend to the ARC and to people with disabilities. It gives me great pleasure in introducing Secretary of Disabilities, Carol Beatty.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's really a wonderful day to be here. It's a little warm. Dogs are chiming in. They actually sound like my dogs. I have 2 corgis, so I bet there's a small dog over there with a big bark. But anyway, it's a great day to be here to help you celebrate. It's an honor to join you for the groundbreaking ceremony of the Raise the Roof campaign, and I bring you greetings and warmest congratulations and best wishes from Governor Wes Moore, Lieutenant Governor Aruna Miller, and the entire Moore-Miller administration. This event, I come to some of these occasionally, and it's never about just turning the dirt over, but it's really about what does that mean for the community itself. And this is about laying the foundation. Did I turn it off? Can you hear me? I'll just, is that okay? Okay. So it's really about laying the foundation for the future where adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities will have beautiful, accessible, and supportive homes. These 2 new residences located right here on Snowfall Way will make possible a sense of community and opportunities for building independence for their residents. So, as everybody's mentioned so far, the ARC Carroll County is celebrating its 70th anniversary. And what a remarkable way to mark that occasion. As a former executive director of an ARC in a neighboring county, that would be Howard County, I'm very proud of the partnership between the ARC Carroll County's volunteer and professional leadership. Hats off to the board of directors who are providing such wonderful assistance and support to this great organization, and to your incredible executive director, Don Rao, and his team. At the Department of Disabilities, thank you. I just want to share with you how meaningful this is to me as the Secretary for the Department of Disabilities. At the Department of Disabilities, our most frequent constituency call is about affordable, accessible housing. And so this project delivers on both, and it will allow people with disabilities to age in place and to really thrive in their communities. To everyone who contributed to this campaign, whether through donations or advocacy or volunteer efforts, thank you. Your support is making a tangible difference in the lives of people with disabilities, and we so totally support that and appreciate that. This groundbreaking is a powerful symbol of progress, and it inspires us all to continue working towards a state where everyone has the same opportunity to thrive and where no one is left behind. So thank you again for always inviting me to these events, and thanks in particular for this, and I'm looking forward to the ribbon cutting in the next few months. So thank you.
Thank you, Carol. So we have got some tremendous friends and supporters down in Annapolis. And when I went to our delegation this past year and asked them, gosh, what would really be helpful is if we could get a bond bill this year. And I know it's probably the wrong year to ask because of all the funding constraints and cuts and all that. But daggone it, they came through. And I was surprised and overjoyed and so grateful. So the president of our delegation is here, and we're so thankful for their support of the ARC and many, many organizations that support people with disability. It gives me great honor to introduce Delegate Chris Tomlinson.
I thought I sweat a lot in Annapolis, but this is even, I'm not used to wearing a suit in the middle of the summer, but here we are. So thanks so much for having me here today. This is a big day, not just for the ARC, but also for the surrounding community, the folks that they serve, their families, and really all of Carroll County. My name is Delegate Chris Tomlinson. I represent District 5, which includes about 75% of Carroll County, a little bit of Frederick County, down in Maryland's House of Delegates in Annapolis. Down in Annapolis, Carroll's represented by two senators, Justin Reedy and Senator Justin Reedy and Senator Chris West, and delegates Eric Boucher, who is here with us today, and April Rose, Josh Stanko, and myself. Senator Reedy was scheduled to be here, but he had last minute was sent by his day job to Texas, so he sends his regards. So we're here today to celebrate the breaking ground on two new homes. But really, it's more at this moment. It's more than just about construction. It's about moving forward on a powerful vision that started back in 1955, when a brave group of parents said, "Our kids belong in this world too," even when society tried to tell them otherwise. Fast forward to today, here in 2025, 70 years later, the ARC of Carroll County is now serving over 700 individuals through programs that support daily life, housing, employment, and more, making a real positive impact in our county every day and helping to create a world where everyone is seen, included, and supported in their own community. Last year, my fellow legislators and I met with the ARC's leadership a couple minutes down the road here in Westminster, and we were briefed on the Raise the Roof campaign. As state legislators, we're able to request and often fight for state dollars out of the capital budget to bring back to our local jurisdictions for different projects. And as Don mentioned, this particular year, it's no secret that our state is facing a budget crisis, and it wasn't exactly the best year to try to bring back funds for local projects, especially as a Carroll County Republican down there in Annapolis. And in addition to that, this was my first year as chair of the delegation, so no pressure at all on me. But I just want to say that our entire delegation, every single one of us, worked really hard, working with the General Assembly leadership, who obviously is on the other side of the aisle. They were great to work with. It was a really great moment to come together, put politics aside and work together on an issue that everybody should believe in. And so at the end of the day, we were able to bring back $150,000 to help go towards this project. And once again, I do just want to thank the General Assembly leadership, especially for working across the aisle on this matter. And I think it's worth mentioning that that this was a very challenging year for the disabilities community down in Annapolis. I can only imagine the secretary, what kind of session you must have had. I know that a lot of the folks down here came down to Annapolis probably a couple more times than they're used to, than they wanted to. And there was obviously, I already mentioned about the budget issues, but there seemed to, for some reason, a lot of at different points of the session, the solution folks thought that the solution was to take money from this community, and I've never seen a group of people come together like they did this past year, with all the emails, the letters, the rallies, the in-person visits. So many of these families came in person. It'd be the whole family, not just the parents, not just the child maybe with disabilities, but their siblings, and you could really kind of see they did a great job of presenting and letting you know about the challenges that they're facing and what these cuts, if these cuts did happen, how this would affect their livelihoods. So I just want to say that I'm sorry for all the pain and heartache that these families had to go through in this past session. I was certainly in support of restoring the funding from day one. I always will be. But I know that it was a tough and challenging year for the disability community with the proposed budget cuts, and unfortunately, it's not looking too much better anytime soon. So I'm sure this is going to be something we're going to have to deal with and work on for many years to come. But before we toss some dirt and officially kick things off, I just want to remind everyone to keep raising the roof. Let's keep raising expectations, raising awareness, and raising each other up. And thanks again for being here to celebrate this moment. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Delegate Tomlinson. So this project really got kicked off when I called over to the commissioner's office and I said, hey, I need some land, preferably that has water and sewer already attached to it. And it would be nice if you could give that to us. Didn't want much, right? Well, daggone it. So the commissioners I just responded and talked, and before we knew it, I got a call to say, Don, could you come to one of our sessions? I think we're going to have some good news for you. And it just happened just like that. And so we took deed to these two parcels of land, which was just amazing, incredible. And that's really what got the ball rolling for these properties. I don't know that this would have happened without that happening. So it just gives me great honor and with a lot of gratitude to introduce our next speaker, the president of the Carroll County Commissioners, Ken Kyler.
And sound guys, if you come up and switch back to the other mic, it'll look bad right now. So please don't do that. I want to thank Don, Jen, the board, and all of the staff and all the supporters for letting me be a small part of the groundbreaking today. It's an honor, and it's humbling when you look around to the board, the supporters, the people involved. I love Carroll County, and the Ark is certainly one of the many jewels and one of the reasons. And I'm going to repeat a couple of things, but I think they're important. Originally founded in 1955 by a group of parents advocating for their children, the Ark has grown to serve over 700 individuals across multiple programs. including day services, employment, residential support. This year celebrates 70 years. Congratulations. Recognized as a leader in the disability services and community-based care, the ARC has long partnered with government, nonprofits, businesses to expand services and provide inclusive housing and gain employment. Now we get to be part of the next chapter with this inclusive, accessible housing here. And on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, we are thrilled and honored to be part of this. We donated the property, and as you said, you're not shy about asking. And sometimes I'll say, watch what you wish for, but this is great. So I'm glad you wished for it. What better use of this property than replacing any old infrastructure with modern, tech-integrated, smart technology? These new homes will be sustainable with positive environmental impacts. The Raise the Roof project reflects the dignity and respect every person deserves. A home, a place to call their own. A home representing belonging, independence, and a future filled with opportunities. Again, I want to thank Don, Jen, the board, the staff, the supporters for letting Carroll County Commissioners be a small part of today's ceremonies. It's great that we can support such a great project for such a great group. I look forward to helping shovel some dirt, and for the record, if my shovel hits rock, it's still your lot.
Thank you, Commissioner Kyler. So these next two people really became new friends as a result of this project. So I didn't know about the Home Care or the Home Builders Care Foundation until a colleague mentioned the group to me, and they do amazing work. And they're such a big part of this project in helping us to leverage our dollars and our support in really being able to make these homes clearly state of the art. And we're so fortunate to have two people here today, Linda Ellington, who's the president, and Jeremy Rutter, who's the vice president. But I'd like to invite Linda Ellington first to come and share some comments.
Good morning, everyone. As Don said, I'm Linda Ellington. I'm a principal with Mitchell and Best Homes, my day job. We are a custom home builder and remodeler in the Baltimore, D.C. area. But here today, I'm currently serving as president of the Home Builders Care Foundation, and I'm honored to represent our organization at this very special Raise the Roof event here for the ARC of Carroll County. And we have become new friends, and it's really been wonderful. And I don't always get to go out to the sites. This is one where we don't often put a shovel in the ground. A lot of times we're fixing a leaky roof or putting in a new ramp, so this is super exciting for us. For those who may not be familiar with our foundation, we are the Maryland Building Industry Association's official charity, and our sole focus is to provide shelter-related service to some of the most vulnerable populations within our state. We depend on dedicated builders, suppliers, contractors, and industry professionals. They all bring to other nonprofits their expertise and resources, including professional services, skilled labor, and building materials, often as in-kind donations and contributions. Now, I thought this was a big deal. Last year in 2024, we celebrated our 40-year anniversary, but 70 years is super impressive, and I hope that we continue on that path to be doing works like this for many decades to come. I'm proud to say that my dad, Bob Mitchell, founded the organization. He's 88, not in the best health, so it certainly wouldn't be in the heat, but back in 1984, and it was formed as a small committee to, one, raise public relations awareness that builders actually do good, and also to find projects and assist, in that time in a fairly small way, those less fortunate citizens within the greater communities where we were building and working. Today, the foundation employs a full-time executive director, Patty Kane. I'm calling out her name. She's on vacation, but she really does do all the work. And pleased that we were also able to bring in a programs manager this year to assist Patty. We're governed by an amazing all-volunteer board representing many facets and disciplines within the building industry. So the project we're kicking off today is one that our board places. We have 3 categories of projects. This one's called a marquee project, which is a fancy name for it's a really big deal. It's top tier, and we're very excited about it. The project we did this last year was for the Believe in Tomorrow Children's Foundation for a home in Ocean City. So with that said, I'm honored and pleased to introduce the key board member, Jeremy, who is the impetus behind our involvement, and my fellow board member and next president of the Home Builders Care.
Great.
Thank you.
So I didn't bring prepared stuff. I'm just going to talk about what I've experienced so far. So what's unique about this is Jennifer and Don's enthusiasm. So we hear about this project, their enthusiasm's kind of any obstacle we have, they just figure it out. So normally the way Linda was kind of describing, we have different tiers at Home Builders Care. We have different tiers of projects, small ones, medium, large ones. And we come to the board with the magnitude, and then we have a vote. And our board is extremely interested, and we hear about it. I'll liken it to a boat, even though we're home builders. I'm gonna like it to a boat because that's an easier analogy. So we find out there's a giant boat that's gonna get built up here. Then we find out there's 2. And we're like, ooh, that's trouble. But it's exciting. So everybody jumps on, right? So the strength of our organization is 1,000 member companies. So that's architects, engineers. So the first thing we go, all right, how can we help? So we send an engineering team up there. And the engineering comes back and reports to our board, hey, they've got a BPR team that's just rocking up there. They're getting it all done. We're like, oh, okay. Don't need that tugboat yet, right? Same thing, they got Dean over there doing architecture. So we think we're within a month of finishing our entitlements and things, maybe a month and a half, you know? So that's all good. Then we're gonna go right to building permit, and then we're gonna have a vote, right? We're gonna find out what the project really needs. But I guess I'm just perpetually shocked that every time we go to put our tugboats in for what our organization, they're just not needed yet. So what does that mean for Home Builders Care? It means the stuff we do best, which is getting the volunteers. Yep, and we found out these are Coast Guard cutters. It's not a barge. Usually we get a barge we have to tow through the water, and we have to put tugboats to make it go. This is like 2 Coast Guard cutters. I think we're gonna be able to just add our help. The stuff that we do the best, we'll have national companies, we'll have local companies, and I'm completely confident whatever problems we have on these lots, we're gonna have people eagerly jump onto the boat, not just tug it through the water, but build something great here. So you can't help but just be excited, because all of us have regular jobs. So far coming here is just, it's like the best, every meeting is just the best part of that week or that month or whatever. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to do this with you, and it's just fantastic.
Well, thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Linda. Wow, I couldn't have said it any better. Thank you so much. So now it gives me absolute pleasure to introduce someone whose dedication, leadership, and heart really have helped to guide this movement, and that is Corinne Corpus, our board president for the ARC.
Sorry. Okay. Well, I'm never at a loss for words, but I do like to have a script just to be on the safe side. Thank you all so much for being here today. As I look around here, I see people from so many aspects of Carroll County life, and it just means the world to see everybody here and to have all this support, and Maryland as well. So thank you all. As president of the board of the ARC Carroll County, I'm just filled with pride. Pride in our mission, in our leadership, and especially in this community. What we're celebrating here today is more than a construction milestone. It's a promise to the individuals and the families that we serve that they matter, that their dreams, their needs, and their right to a fulfilling life is central to everything that we do at the ARC. This groundbreaking is the product of vision, determination, and collaboration. It only happens when a community comes together around a shared belief that every person deserves a safe and supportive place to call home. I'm especially proud to share that this project has the full backing of our board of directors. All of our directors have weighed in and are supporting us, and that makes me proud as board chair to announce that. To our staff, our donors, our construction and design teams, our partners, and our elected officials, thank you. Your commitment is written into the foundation of this project, and it will echo through the lives that it touches. And to our residents and families and self-advocates, this is for you. You inspire us, you guide us, and you remind us every single day why our work matters. As we turn the dirt, we look forward to the ribbon cutting, the first housewarming, and to the many stories and memories that will be created in these homes in the years to come. So let's keep raising the roof together. Thank you.
All right, on the count of 3, we're going to raise the roof.